So now just to wrap up how the rest of my week went and what happened at the weekend as well. So at the start of the week, I finished all of my winter planting, and hopefully by now my gardening videos are actually out there. So anyone that's interested in gardening, please check out the gardening section of my channel. I spent 3 days getting my garden ready for winter. So this involved planting around 270 spring bulbs, as well as I think I bought 28 coloured heathers, and I easily had about 70 viola plants. So I was doing a lot of planting. It was really wonderful. It's been a long time since I've done planting on that scale. So I was really enjoying it. And then I just got my garden ready for winter. So my patio chairs went back into the garage. There were like a few bits and pieces around my garden that I have hanging up that I take down at winter times. I don't want them to get weather damage. So I was getting them stored away in the shed, and I was like moving some of my pots around, making sure that everything is kind of wind proof. Yeah, so I was wrapping up, I'd got the grass cut. I was wrapping up everything in the garden, and I had just been telling my friends in America that I'm getting the garden ready for winter. Usually I would be sad about this, but I'm not, because I've got so much other things that I want to be doing. Like this channel will be taking up so much of my time. But I found that there was about 10-20 minutes that I was just walking around the garden. I just kept looking at things, just trying to find jobs to do. I was like, oh, do I need to do any deadheading? Do I need to take that weed out, or do I need to do this? And I was just walking around, and like eventually I was like, Lou, you don't need to do anything. Like everything's done. That's it. Your garden's done. Like that's it. Your gardening season for like, that's you for 25. You are done. And I did. I felt really sad. I was like, oh. I thought, oh, it just, I don't know, like my garden is my haven. I adore my garden. It's so good for my mental and physical well-being. I'm really, God, I just love being in my garden. I look at my garden every day and I will stare and take in all the detail as if it's the first time that I've seen it. And I never get bored of looking at it. I just love it. Even today, I was out looking at a plant and there were 4 butterflies on it and 6 bees, and it's the middle of September. And I was like, oh my God, I love my garden so much. And I was feeling quite guilty. Actually, I felt like I was having to apologize to my garden because, so after I had this realization, I just sat on the step and I was just looking around the garden and just I was being so grateful for my garden. I was being thankful, and I was like, just in my mind, like telling my garden everything that I love about it. And I was looking about and I thought, this plant worked really well this year. That one totally took me by surprise. That one didn't do very good. And oh, I definitely need to change this year. And oh, I keep doing this and I need to stop doing that. And oh, this was amazing. And why isn't this doing that? And I was just like, I was just going around and like assessing the garden and just having like a few final thoughts for it. And I remember throughout the year saying to my mum, I'm really unhappy with some of the things in my garden this year. Some things have just not gone the way that I want. And next year I'm definitely going to change some things. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. But then when I had that moment where it was like, you don't have anything else to do, that's it, you're done. I really at that point just took a step back and just took it all in. I really appreciated my garden, and it was just lovely. And my front garden's coming on really well as well. So yeah, so I wrapped that up. That was at the start of the week. That was, yeah, the only thing that I've got left to do are my 2 front door pots, and I'm not going to do them until the first frost hits, because at the moment they have begonias in them and they look amazing. I keep saying to my mum, look at my begonias. She doesn't like begonias, but oh my God, they're like massive bouquets, and I don't need to do a thing. I don't need to water them. I don't need to deadhead them. I just leave them to do their thing, and they give the most beautiful display and they look incredible. Yeah, so that was my garden. The following day, I took my mum, we went to one of my brother's house. I've got 2 older brothers. We went to one of my brothers who has kittens. I think they're about 5 or 6 months old now. So we went to go see them. That was wonderful. I didn't get any photos, but oh my gosh, they're just incredible. After that, Mum and I went to a garden centre. She needed to pick up a few bits and bobs, but she bought me the most gorgeous handbag. I was looking at bags. I've kind of been in the market for a new handbag. I couldn't stand my old one. It was more practical than fashion. And I'm not like a handbag person. I do actually have a lot of handbags, but I don't like switch up my handbags anymore. Not like I did in my 20s. But oh my gosh, I was looking at these handbags. I was like, oh, this is nice. I like that. But I didn't do anything. It wasn't until we were leaving the store that my mum's like, are you going to go get that bag? I was like, I don't know. And then I thought, oh, do you know what? I'm just going to get it. And then when I get to tell my mum's like, I'll get that for you. I was like, all right, okay, thanks, mum. So I do a lot for my mum, and she loves to buy me things. So it was amazing. It matches my water bottle. Like, I didn't realise that, but it was like, I got home and I had them together, and I was like, oh God, people are going to think I'm coordinating this stuff. But it was a lovely coincidence. But I love my new bag, and I've had so many compliments on it as well. So if you're watching this, mum, thank you so much. Thank you. Holy crap, now I've done a separate video on this, I'm not going to talk about it too long, but I had a whole thing with my laptop, and I ended up like actually taking the back off my laptop, and I was mucking about with the inside of it. If you're interested in any sort of tech side of stuff, it's not a repeat video that I'm going to do often. I'm hoping it's the only time I'm ever going to have to do it. But I've done a whole separate video on that. I was basically increasing the storage on my laptop. I was having major storage issues for a really long time, and did my research. Anyway, there's a whole other video on it. It is quite interesting, even if you're not into tech stuff. Like, you might find out stuff. It's not a tutorial. It's most definitely not a tutorial, but you might find it interesting. I was incredibly proud of myself and what I managed to do and achieve. And hopefully what I've done will actually like really help in the long run. That was on the Thursday and the Friday. Then we get to the weekend. So on the Saturday, Billy's daughter was with us, and it was really sad. We ended up having to visit his gran in hospital. Unfortunately, she is suffering with pancreatic cancer, but she had an infection and she was in hospital, and she really wasn't herself. And I absolutely adore Billy's gran, and she is so feisty. I'm used to her having this incredible energy and spark about her, but you could tell that she was just exhausted and really knackered. And so it was lovely to see her, but it was a little sad at the same time. Like, but I've heard that she is getting out of hospital and she's on the mend, so that's good news. I managed to see a lot of Billy's family when they were there as well. We got to see his parents, and his aunt and uncle were there, and we'll be seeing them in a few weeks as well at Billy's son's birthday party, because he's just turned 18, and I can't believe Billy's got an 18-year-old. It's weird. But that was Saturday. Saturday was actually me and Billy's anniversary. It was our 11th year anniversary, but because we knew we would be busy on the day, we decided to celebrate our anniversary on the Sunday. And Sunday was just the most beautiful, wonderful day. It was, oh my gosh. I mean, this time last year, Billy and I were on our first cruise. We were on a week's cruise around the Mediterranean, and then we stayed in Croatia for a week. We actually stayed in an island in Croatia, Kalamata Island, which we loved. We were there the year before and we absolutely adored it. But, oh no, it's not Kalamata Island, it's Kolachip Island, and the hotel is called Kalamata Island. It's an adult-only place. Absolutely recommend it. Through TUI Blue, it is wonderful, really good. But so our 10-year anniversary was a massive hit, and we were like, what are we going to do this year? What are we going to do with this? We wanted to stay away for the night, but Billy was having some car trouble, and we didn't want to switch dates with his daughter, because the next time we're supposed to be having her, we won't be having her, because it will be his son's birthday party, and she's going to her first rock concert. I'm so excited for her. She keeps saying, oh my God, I'm going to be bawling my eyes out. Like, it's really something. But yeah, so we were like, well, if we can't stay away somewhere, and obviously we're not going to Spain and we're not going to be on holiday or whatever, like, let's go out for the day. Let's find all of our favourite spots and we'll just spend the day together. We'll just go out and make a day of it. And so I sort of tasked Billy with this. When he came home, I was like, you've got a day trip to plan for us. He was like, I'm on it, don't worry about it. He had a few things up his sleeve, and it was such a lovely day. So we left the house at like 11:15. We didn't get home till 8:15 at night. And I might do a separate video on this because I took so much footage throughout the day, and I don't want to cram it all into this. I might do a different one. So I'm just going to do a recap of what we did, but it was wonderful. We're on the Central Belt in Scotland, and we drove to Killen, where we were wanting to get cake from a tea room to take away, but actually they weren't serving any. But we had a little walk around there, and we went to see the old mill, and I got some photos, some videos of that, and that was great. Oh my gosh. And we went into one of the, we were looking in the window of like a shop that's there, like a gift shop that's there, and I collect miniature sheep, like any like miniature sheep ornaments. I have a little collection of them. I'll show, hopefully that's showing on the screen now, or it'll be shown at some point. And we're looking in the window, and we're just, oh, look at this, and I was like, oh my God, there's a sheep. I was like, oh, and I don't have that one. I was like, I need to go in and buy it. So we were in this little shop for ages, and then eventually I got my little sheep, and I was so happy with that. So that's a little sheep that I've added to my collection, and I was like, oh, it's just so nice that I got that on our anniversary. It was really lovely. And then, oh, I forgot to say that Billy got me the most beautiful flowers as well that arrived on the Saturday. God, the most striking colours, the most beautiful orange and purples. And he says, I picked it because it was called Autumn Days. And he's like, and I thought you would really like that. I was like, man, you did very good. You picked them very well. Like, it's probably the best bouquet that he's ever got me. Billy's got me nice flowers before, but this one definitely had the most amount of thought in it. They were really lovely. And my friend in America, she would stop messaging me going, I love those flowers, like, just great. So after we'd been to Cullen, we drove to Tindrum. We went to the Real Food Cafe that do the best fish and chips. We went there, we got like a snack size version of that. I couldn't finish it. I think I ate like 3/4 of it, and Billy had the rest of my fish. So that was good. And we managed to get cake there to take away. The idea was that we were going to take it somewhere to have it, but we ended up just taking it home and having it after dinner. But oh my God, I got a carrot cake. It was amazing. It was so soft. Oh, it was beautiful, really nice. And Billy got this chocolate cake, which it was like a chocolate fudge cake that he was really against getting because it said it was vegan. And I was like, listen, the vegans know what they're doing when it comes to making cakes. Like, they're pretty damn good. So I was like, it's the only one here that you're going to get. I was like, just get it. If you don't like it, leave it. But it was really good. Yeah, because even I'm not that big a fan of chocolate fudge. They can sometimes trigger a migraine for me. So I kind of try to avoid like chocolate sponge. But it was very nice, very good cake. So we got cakes. Then, oh my gosh, then we drove up and through Glencoe. I adore Glencoe, and Glencoe is just, if you've not been, oh my God, if you've not been, please keep an eye out for any like anniversary video that I put up, or any like Scottish scenery that I put up, because I took so many photos. I took so many videos. I was quite proud with some of the shots that I was capturing, and I really want to try and play with these, see if I can make like some sort of scenic video, or try to maybe make like an ambience track with a nice background. That's the kind of stuff that I used to always play in the background when I was at work, or if I'm doing stuff on the laptop, I've always got stuff like that. So definitely want to try and do that. But yeah, my God, so we were all like in and out of Glencoe because we went round the back of Buccleuch Moor, and then we stopped in front of the Three Sisters. I love that spot. It is so damn good. And for any old school Highlander fans, like, that's where Connor MacLeod and Heather lived. Like, just, oh, amazing, beautiful, love it. So we were through Glencoe, then we carried on through and turned off and headed like round and down to Kinlochleven, which is an area that we've not been to before. Actually, you're quite high up. I can't believe how high up you are until you drive all the way down. Because there's a few times that I was like, whoa, like there's quite a drop, like down to where Lochleven must be. So we get to the bottom of this place, and Billy parks up, and there's like a sign to like Grey Mare's Waterfall. I think it's Grey Mare's. If it's not, I'll correct it on the screen. He says, oh, like there's a little walk here that we can do. And usually when Billy says a little walk, it's actually like an uphill hike. But he was pretty accurate with this one. And this is where I usually absolutely adore doing things like this with Billy, but it plays such a heavy toll on my body just in the last couple of years with my fibromyalgia, with all the health issues that I've had that I've not fully went into in these videos, but I have declared about my fibromyalgia and some of my gut issues and being inflamed, and my muscles are just, oh, it's just like going, like just nipping out of the car and going on like a little walk. I mean, I don't even think it was it a mile? Like, I don't know, all in what we did. It was probably over a mile. But usually like my body would be screaming, and like I'm screaming because I'm like, I want to do this. I want to go on this walk. I want to see what's at the end of this. But usually like my body is just always battling against me. And yeah, so there was a good section of it that was uphill, and like I was a little bit out of breath. I could feel that my heart rate was going, but I wasn't as sore, which was just, I was like, oh, I don't, I kind of didn't want to jinx myself, so I wasn't paying too much attention to it. But we went on this lovely little walk. I remember, God, we went down these steps. There were like these massive concrete slabs for steps, like big heights going down. So we went down them, maybe like 50 yards or something. And I remember when I got to the bottom of them, I was thinking, oh God, they're going to be a real bitch to get back up. But then we carried on walking, saw this waterfall. Billy like went off. I was like, where is he going? I just kept filming in case something happened, I wanted to document it. But I was kind of like, where is he going? I didn't have the right shoes. I didn't feel confident going where he was going, but he just kept going towards this waterfall. And it was amazing. So he managed to get some shots of the waterfall, and yeah, we walked around there for a bit. There was another lookout point we wanted to go to, so we're heading back round. We go up these steps. I'm sort of like, I could see them in the distance. I'm thinking, okay, and I'm bracing myself for it. And I get to the top of the stairs and I'm like, what? That was easy. And I actually said, hey, wait a minute. I was like, that was really easy for me. And he's kind of looking at me like, what? Like obviously because it's easy for him. But I just said to him, I said, that would have been really difficult for me before. I was like, and I feel like I levitated up those stairs. Like, oh, I was just, and he's like, why do you think that is? And like, I didn't want to ruin the moment, but I was like, I think it could be one of two things. I think that my workouts are like paying off, like I'm gaining strength in my muscles, and obviously I'm doing a lot on my legs as well. I was like, but I really think it's because the Mounjaro has really helped with my inflammation. And that's one of the key things that my doctor said to me, and why she was happy for me to go on it, because my doctor was saying for like the fibromyalgia inflammation, but also like a lot of what's going on in your gut, any sort of inflammation that you have in there, she said, I really think that you could benefit from being on this. And I couldn't believe going up these stairs. And I so wish I'd got a photo of them, but I didn't. I just couldn't believe going up these stairs, how like effortless it was. It really, I thought, oh, I forgot this feeling. This is what it feels like to be normal, to just go out and do normal mundane things. And for so many years doing something like that, oh, it's actually getting me a bit emotional because doing something like that would be so like difficult, and it was always so goddamn frustrating that this shouldn't be difficult. But yeah, I got up those stairs, and then we even climbed a little bit further. Oh my gosh. We even went a little bit further after that, and by this point it started pouring down with rain, but I didn't care. I was so happy at the time. And so what did we do after this? So after this, the plan was to drive back through Glencoe, and we were wanting to go for dinner in Loch Lomond. We wanted to go to the Drovers, and the Drovers is sometime within our first 6 months of being together, we went to the Drovers for something to eat, and Billy got this steak pie that was so rich and beefy, and it was like, that's like the best steak pie ever. I say steak pie, it had like, I don't know. We were like, oh my god, like we can go there for dinner and get like a steak pie, like we could get a steak pie. So we get there, we turn up and they were fully booked and we didn't book. I was like, oh no. I think we got there at like 6 o'clock, and the girl was so nice, and she's like, I'm sorry. She says, I wouldn't be able to sit you until 8 o'clock. I was like, oh no, that's too late. I says, we can't wait that long. I was like, I've got your lunches at home. I always cook Billy's lunches for his work in the slow cooker at home, and I had it on a timer, and I was like, we've got your lunches to make, and you know, we don't want to get home too late. We don't want to get home and just go straight to bed. Like, oh, what are we going to do? So we ended up using their bathroom, and I remember I was in the bathroom like, what are we going to do? Where are we going to go? Because I was okay, but Billy was like ravenous. Like, we had our lunch at about 1, so it's now 5 o'clock. Like, he's gone 5 hours, he hasn't had anything. I think he forgot that we had cake in the car as well. But so we get outside, and he said, what about going to the River House? Which the River House in Stirling used to be our restaurant. We used to love going there, but over the years the management had changed and the menu had changed. Then the venue was done up and extended, and we were like, great, let's go, but it just never had the same caliber as how it was when we first used to start going there. So we, like, when we were first together, and I'm trying to think, was it our first anniversary that we went there? But when we were first together, and certainly on the run up to when we got our home and when we got our first house, and whenever there was like good news, like something to celebrate, whether one of us got a new job or, you know, whatever, like we would always go to the River House, and we loved that place and it was our place. But we haven't been there for years, because just the last couple of times we've went, it's been really disappointing. I was like, oh my gosh, that's a wonderful idea. And I was like, oh, but yeah, by the time we get there, and then by the time we're served, I says, we're still going to be home late, we're still having all the same issues that we're having here. So long story short, we ended up ordering a Chinese, as romantic as that sounds. Billy was just absolutely ravenous. He's like, I need food. So he's like, why don't we just get a Chinese? I said, let's pick it up on the way home rather than getting it delivered. That way, when I get in, I can sort your lunches, and then we can sit and relax and have dinner. And I knew I wasn't going to be eating an awful lot. I think I had ordered chicken fried rice. The plan was that we were sharing the rice, But when I got the portion, I put half of it on my plate and then I ate half of what was on my plate. So I had like quarter a portion and that was it. That's all I had. So when I say, oh, and then we had our cake after, and our cake was so good. God, it was so good. If you're ever in Tyndrum at the Real Food Cafe, get yourself a snack-sized fish supper and some carrot cake. Like, oh my days, so good. I actually think I might be there again next month when my dad comes. I think we're planning a trip to Oban, so we may actually get that again. So I say it was a heavy weekend. That is because like normally I wouldn't have fish and chips and then Chinese on the same day and cake. Like sounds like a lot, but I wasn't eating full portions. That's what I mean. Like on reflection, I was like, yeah, what you're having isn't great, but I still wasn't eating the amount of what I would normally have. So I was okay with that. So, oh my gosh, the day was just so wonderful because like when we got home, Billy asked me, have you had a nice day? And I was like, honestly, it's been the best day because over the last year or 18 months really, I said anytime you and I have had together, it's all been about our apartment in Spain and getting that set up and ready. And when we're out there, we're always up against time limits and, you know, we're like out shopping all the time. And like when we were there last month, that's the first time, other than when we took the kids the month before, that's the first time we've been there and it's just been a holiday and we've just been able to relax. And I've said to him, other than us dealing with Spain, whenever we've been together lately, it's always just like watching TV and I hate it. Like, and days like today, like I loved it so much. I was like, I really just enjoyed being with you, being in your company, the chats that we were having, the laughs that we were having, the music that we're listening to in the car, the scenery. Like that's always been what we've done is we love going out on big long drives and seeing like Northwest Scotland is definitely like our favourite like places. Like those were like our favourite hotspots, like the places that we go. And we love staying away in like old estate homes. Like that's just what we've always done since we've been together. And because of the apartment in Spain, we haven't been stayed away as often. We haven't been like exploring in Scotland as often. You'll see in the background, we've got a map. This is a map that Billy bought me for our second Christmas together, and it came with stickers and he'd put like place marks of places that we'd stayed and islands that we've been to. So every time we go somewhere new to stay overnight, because we were marking down like just places that we visited and the whole thing was just, it was getting way too covered. So we slimmed it back a bit and that's all the places that we've stayed. And then the map next to it is one that I got him, oh, was it this year? I think it was this year. I got him, so there's a world map and there's a Europe map. They're the scratch off maps. And so I got him them for Valentine's. And because we travelled so much last year, it was like, we've actually got lots of places that we can scratch off on these. So if I remember, I'll try and take photos of them to show. But I just said to him, it was just so wonderful, like really getting some good quality one-on-one time with you and like being out in what is like our natural environment and just doing what we love doing and spending time together and the videos that we were taking. Even just when we were being silent in the car, it was just so wonderful. It was really great. And I got my little sheep and my flowers and our cards for each other. And yeah, it was a real wonderful, I mean, given that Billy and I only see each other like 4 or 5 days of the month, because of his rotations when he works away. I mean, it's hard going, but we're really good at making it work. It just makes days like that really precious and really beautiful. And I had such a lovely day and it was great and I couldn't wait to talk about it. Probably why when I weighed in on Monday and I realised I hadn't lost weight, I really didn't give a shit. So yeah, I definitely ended the weekend on a high. So that is week 7. Definitely a lot going on. And I can tell you that this week so far, a hell of a lot is going on already. Just seems that every week when I'm making these videos, more and more things are going on. So yeah, if you've watched this to the end, thank you so much. I really hope that you have enjoyed this video. If you came back from watching my previous videos, thank you so much for coming back. And if this is your first time here, then hopefully see you around again. Thanks.